Yo, what's up, everyone? Happy Wheel Wednesday. We are here, as you see, Daut sitting next to me on a couch, a little different today, and we got a nice special one for you guys. We're joined here with Formula Drift Pro driver Mike Power. Really cool, Mike. Thank you for joining us. It's really sick to have you here. We don't get too many guests.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the podcast. I thought it was awesome, and once we started working with each other this year, I was like, you guys are in Long Island. I'm from Long Island. I'm going to be there after the race. So I saw you guys at the race. I was like, hey, can I come do the podcast with you guys?
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be really fun. I mean, it's just such a chill atmosphere. I think it was a really good opportunity to just come in and, have fun and chat with you guys.
Absolutely.
Awesome, dude.
And, for people who don't know, Mike is riding with KONIG for the first time this year for 2024. And we are absolutely stoked to have him on the team, which is really so sick. And I can't believe we haven't done anything in the past because of the proximity.
So that's exactly what I was thinking about too, because once we started out, so we were looking to work with another wheel brand, and I was like, we should hit you guys up and, see if we could work out a relationship. And then the email back right away is like, oh, fellow Long Island boy, yo, we got you. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, you guys are from Long Island? And they're like, yeah, we've always been to Long Island.
Yeah.
And I was like, how did I not know this? So that I know you worked for a long time, but I was thinking just the way that things worked out, you could work from anywhere. So I just didn't know.
You thought I was working remote?
Yeah, I thought you were working remote. And I was like, no way. I was like, instantly, once we started a relationship, I was like, this should have been years
Should have been a long time ago.
Since day one, it should have been.
It should have been like this, yeah.
Especially since how everything's going and the wheels on the car and all the abuse we put them through and how good they're holding up. It's
Nice.
one of those things where I was like, this would have been a no-brainer from the start. But
We appreciate that. We didn't pay him to say
Hey, that was not a paid program.
but we're here now, so that's all that matters. Let's just keep
All
going.
that matters.
Absolutely. I would say the same thing. I don't know about you, but before I even started working here, obviously I knew who KONIG was, and my friends used to run KONIGs. I never had a set prior to working here, but when I got hired, I had no idea that they were Long Island based.
Neither did I.
Yeah, I literally
To be honest, I always thought, I was like, what wheel company would be on Long Island?
Right.
Like, it's just one of those weird things. But either way, hey, I'm here now. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
At least I feel like I'm not alone.
No, you're definitely not alone.
Yeah.
Definitely not alone.
But you would think
No,
out of
never.
Long Island, no.
I always see, when I think of a wheel company, it's either Florida or California.
Right.
Somewhere so that it's close to the water.
To be fair, we do.
Okay.
For the ports and everything like
I
that.
mean, we are still close to the water.
Yeah, but you're not. There's no ports here, though, dude. Just the wrong club on the beach. Just throw me the container. Go for it, man. Whatever you got.
Put some floaties on.
To be fair, we do have our location in California.
Yes, we do.
To be
We
fair,
do. To be
But-
fair.
Which I believe I've been to.
Yeah, you went to. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I never even been there. He's been there. I've never
Yeah,
been there.
man. I don't have any desire to go back.
Seems like Montana's not the.
It's not really the place.
It's a desert, dude. Over there, it's legit. Yeah, you don't want to be there.
It's good for the industrial stuff.
That's it. It's good to store wheels.
Yeah.
That's all it's good for.
And it's convenient for me because we needed wheels last second.
And boom, right there.
We started the relationship literally right before the season started. So I was like, all right, so gotta replace all the wheels, gotta get them mounted on tires, tires mounted on, get them on the car, and we were gonna go testing before the first round. So I was like, how long is it gonna take? And then they're like, you just go to Fontana, pick them up. I was like, oh, cool. Hell yeah, an hour drive because I'm in OC now.
Nice.
So it's kind of funny you guys have here in Long Island, here in California.
I know, and look, and you're both places really close. I love it.
Super convenient.
Dude, what made you move out to California? You went straight all the way East Coast at the end of the tip of Long Island, then you went all the way out west. What possessed you to do that?
So for me, it was kind of more of an industry thing. I would travel to California a lot. I actually lived there for a little bit when I was younger, when I was riding BMX. Maybe we could talk about that later, but I always was familiar with California, and there was a lot of pro drivers out there, and there's a lot of brands out there. So it's really big on the industry side of things, and the car culture out there is huge. And Long Island was kind of starting to feel like I was plateauing on my growth. Mm-hmm. So it was either, hey, figure something out here on the island for establishing yourself and making my program bigger, or move somewhere where maybe the resources are easier to obtain and make it a little bit better for myself to grow. So that was kind of the push for California. Had some people out there that I also was talking to that they're like, yeah, maybe you should move out here. So I figured I'd give it a try, start fresh, trying to build the program out there and get it as big as I can. Right now, I still don't even have a shop yet for myself. I just rent space from local shops. Shout out to the Doghouse Garage. They're really good dudes. They had the shop and they were like, hey, like we're going to rent like individual car spots for people. And I was like, can I rent like 2 spots and like put all my tools in here and like build my car? And they're like, yeah. So that's what I did this past winter, getting the car ready. It worked out really good, but eventually it's, you know, I want to have my own space, my own
Of course,
and be able to have my truck and trailer parked there too.
Well, considering where you are now, I guess the move to California was worth it in terms of being able to break that plateau.
Yeah, it gave me more opportunities to talk to more people, get more involved in the industry, experience a lot more of the car culture. Car culture is still out here and a thing in Long Island and in New York and the East Coast. It's huge.
Yeah.
But when you're stuck kind of on the island, it's only so big. So when you're on the West Coast, it broadens the horizon for experiencing all the car culture that you can. There's a lot going out there. So you can never get bored. And also there's no winter.
Right.
So it's like, that's kind of the main thing.
Yeah.
Long Island winters, even though there hasn't been a big snowstorm in a while.
Right.
The cold out here is just
At least 5 years.
It's been a little bit.
It's been a little bit since we've had a
Global
big
warming
snowstorm.
is a bitch.
See, I like the seasons, but I think it's the big boys. You know, we like our cold weather.
I
You
will
know,
tell you, I miss the fall.
Yeah.
Lot.
the fall is my favorite.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
came
best.
back for like Thanksgiving and you see the trees change color.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I miss that. California is the same color all year round.
All year.
Right.
Kind of get a little bit.
Either desert or palm trees.
Literally. Yeah.
How long have you been in California now?
About a year and a half.
Oh, so not long at all.
Yeah, not long at all.
So, oh wow. So all right. So I have a question then. So then
Closer?
we're from the same area. We're all from Long Island, and like we're about the same age. And growing up, I was always involved in car stuff, whatever it was, but a lot of just kind of enthusiast stuff and street racing or whatever it may be, and just kind of car shows and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like I had almost no exposure to drifting here on Long Island at all, probably prior to me working here. And like, so if you've only been out over there for a year, that means you got yourself to a professional level, like,
Beforehand.
yeah, just here alone. So like, what was that like?
So it was definitely, I would say it's probably a little harder to do being out here, but it was like once the drive was there and like the goals were set to I figured it all out and what I wanted to do. Club Loose out in New Jersey, that was the home track from the beginning.
Right.
Drifting is a thing in Long Island. There's plenty of people that travel out to Jersey, or at least in the past, that's what they did. So that was kind of just the routine that I got into. And then it just became traveling all over the East Coast and all over the US once we actually started driving. But just got my start in Club Loose, and it worked out really well for getting the foundation for drifting. And then once I started stepping up to the plate of like wanting to compete, I had to, outsource shops to help me build the car and stuff like that. So really everything I did for drifting was off the island. So It's just like I just lived here and then I just had to travel. That was the only thing it turned into. Was just
What about practicing though?
So it was all Englishtown. Yeah.
Wow.
I would drive New
You're
Jersey.
street driving too, I imagine.
No, I've literally never
No parking lot donuts?
No, I've done like some donuts in the street, like in front of one of the shops that I used to use like a long time ago when I first got started at Farmingdale. But that's pretty much it. I was never really interested to mess around on the streets. It was,
I feel like you would have been bigger just going like behind a warehouse and just ripping it back.
oh yeah.
I feel like that would have been all you back in the day. Like if you asked me 6 years ago, I'd be like, oh yeah, Mike's probably just out drifting somewhere over
Yeah.
there.
No, I've honestly never got into it. I mean, there's a lot of people that do that. It was just for me getting into it. I never wanted to have to worry about, getting shut down or like cops pulling up or like
Right.
risking the car in the streets or anyone else's safety. I don't know. I feel like it was just never a priority for me to like, I didn't want it that bad where I was like, I have to break the law to go. Right now.
So then, like, in the sense of you having to, for people who don't know Long Island, like, if you're out on the east end, just to get out, like, off of Long Island, you have to travel about an hour, like, just to get off Long Island.
And then about another hour on Belt Park.
Yeah, and you're not even out of New York at that point. You're just off the island. But, like, so if you had to go through all of that just to get some practice and just to go down to New Jersey, like, how did you even kind of get into drifting in the first place of all motorsports of, like,
So when I was younger, I actually raced go-karts for a little bit when I was a kid at Riverhead Raceway. So
Yeah.
I actually did get racing experience
Nice.
here on Long Island, which was really cool. So did go-karts for a little bit, but then ended up not kind of falling out of love with it. And then I got into action sports where I rode BMX for like years. I took that like pretty serious. I even traveled for it. But then what happened was, and I tell this story to everyone, you know Connor Croak.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. All right, cool. So Connor, me and him went to high school together. And like, I kind of grew up as a teenager being driven around by Connor in his like Jeep, like, cause I could never drive anywhere. He liked action sports. So like, he would like rollerblade, of course, but
Sorry, Connor.
sorry. Connor. So I like Connor would bring me everywhere, and riding bikes, I ended up getting hurt, and I was off the bike for a while, and he was really getting into Japanese cars and like just cars in general. He was hanging out with like a lot of people like Brendan. We were going to car shows. And when I was off the bike, he showed me like drifting and like JDM cars, and eventually brought me to Club Loose for my first ever like drifting event to watch. And once I saw it and saw how much fun everyone was having, I was like, I need to do this. So instantly, like a month later, I bought my first car, which was like a coupe, and it took me like 2 years to build it. And I started drifting in 2016.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what car was that?
So it was an S13 coupe.
Nice. Nice. That's
And
what's up.
before that, or way before that, when I first met you, you had an STI.
Yeah.
You had a
To this day, I tell people that's like literally one of my favorite cars ever.
What year?
It was a 2013 STI sedan.
Nice.
was it a sedan or I thought you had a hatch.
Nope, sedan.
That's
what I
what I was
loved.
throwing
I loved
off.
the wing on it.
Yeah.
It was so sick. But it was like super basic. Literally just wheels and tires, coilovers, and exhaust. That's literally all I did to it. And I
Builds
drove
on a
it
budget, dude.
everywhere. It was such a good car. Super comfy. It was like, I mean, driving manual in the traffic, like trying to leave Long Island and go through the city and stuff, it's not that great, but it taught me a lot about how to just get the basics for driving. And then drifting was just something I wanted to do so bad that once it came time to do it, I was so excited. I didn't care how long the learning curve was. I was like, I just need to do it.
So you picked up the S13 in what year?
The S13 I probably picked up in 2014, probably. Oh my God, why am I forgetting his name right now? I forget who I bought it from. What was his name? Mike, tall guy, red beard. He had the.
You know how many mics I know, dude? I have to give people nicknames.
Like once you say it,
Once I hear it, I'll be like, oh yeah, I know it.
But the name is crossing me right now. But he'll probably reach out to me and be pissed. But
Sorry, bro.
it was a S13 coupe that had SR in it, and before I bought it, or before he bought it, his buddy crashed it. So like the front end was like
Is that it?
tweaked. Yeah, that's it.
Nice.
That was when it was like in one of its best stages. That was after like 2 years of owning it. The first year that I started driving it, it was basically just all mixed match color panels and everything, because I didn't want it to be that nice. And then
Yeah, but that's a
crash
drift
it.
car.
Yeah.
But I ended up making that thing too nice, where it actually got a lot of attention when I first started driving it, when it looked that good.
Right.
But when I first started, it did not look like that.
So if you got that car roughly in 2014 or so, you entered Formula Drift in what, 2018? Right.
No, I entered Formula Drift in 2020, COVID year.
What?
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
So it was wild. What we did was I had that car. It was like stock power plant. Well, not stock. It had SR. Drove it like that, like bare bones, but I put all the good safety stuff in it. And then once I started getting better, added a little bit more horsepower. And then I was like, all right, I want to start competing. And then we completely changed the car. We put like a 2J in it and made like 700 horsepower, dog box, transmission, quick change.
Nice.
And just all these professional items that you would typically need now, and then turned into that car, which was like just way faster. And we started using that for competition. So that was actually 2019, I believe. That was the year that we decided to like really take it serious and try and get the FD license for
Right.
Pro Spec. So we started doing pro and comps, and that one was in Virginia. And we didn't do that good because I literally finished the car the morning of, but typical drifting fashion.
Right.
And that was like the only one for the whole year on the East Coast. And I was like, dude, like I'm trying to get my FD license. There's only like one like Pro-Am shootout the whole year. And I was talking to the guys who ran the event and they were like, oh, you can go to California, you can go to Colorado. And then at the end of the year, there's one in Ohio. So like talked to the family and everybody. I was like, hey, like I really want to get my FD license. Can we like travel and like go do this? And then we ended up doing it. And the first stop was in Sonoma in California. We ended up winning that shootout.
Wow,
and that's how I got my license for FD.
Nice.
But the S13, unfortunately, the last event that we did that year in Ohio, I crashed it. And then we decided it was like, we're going to take professional drifting seriously. So let's build a crazier car. And that's how we got the S15.
Nice.
And we ended up just, there you go. That's the crash. Thanks.
Thanks, Max.
But yeah, it wasn't too bad. I still have the car. It's literally just sitting in a trailer, like just rotting away.
You can't get rid of it.
I can't. It was my first ever drift car. And eventually I wanted to come back and like do a build on it so I can drive it.
Right.
Because it's just such a good car. But yeah, we ended up doing the S15, and that's a car I've been driving ever since I started driving an FD, and it's been an amazing car. We've done minor changes here and there for like horsepower and, bigger wheel and tires since we're pro now. Yeah, that was the first year we drove the S15.
Damn.
Yeah.
When you were saying how there was not much events going on over here on the East Coast, like when I just spoke to Stookie over the weekend, he was saying like, yeah, man, he's like, I don't really have any reason to come out to the East Coast besides FD New Jersey. He was like, it's almost like never really have to come out over here.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it depends on all of what you want out of drifting or what type of driving you're doing, because there's plenty of stuff that goes on the East Coast. Don't let anyone fool you. I truly believe the East Coast is probably the best scene of like drifting, like the best driving, the best cars. I've yet to go somewhere like go elsewhere and see something that represents drifting better than the East Coast. There's a lot of contenders where yes, it's really good, but we were just at Pro Bro Down the day after FD, and I'm like watching 7 cars go around a hairpin turn at the same time. I'm like, dude, like nobody's really doing this, and if they are, it doesn't look like that. These cars were gorgeous. So I'm like, dude, like the East Coast does it right, and there's plenty of drifting all up and down the East Coast. So I really, a lot of people for like the grassroots side, you can't compete with it. Because on the West Coast, I'm like, where's all the grassroots events? Like, what if I wanted to just like get a car and go drive for fun? Like, there's no schedules. There's no like sanctioned people like hosting a full schedule throughout the year of drift events. Where Club Loose is like before the season starts, every single drift event that's happening that year. So
It's dope.
It's all about what you want. If you want to do just a bunch of competitions and stuff, yeah, maybe the East Coast is a little bit different. But I know there's still people in like, I believe Tennessee or this, I forget the name of it, but there's another Pro-Am series that's right here in the East Coast. But it's really more for grassroots is killing it out here.
Well, there's a Riverside Drift over here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. And we sponsor them, by the way. Shout out Ryan. But so speaking of the S15 though, one question that I personally have, just because I don't get out to the tracks all that often, but when I do, I always notice a few things or whatever. Like your S15, you're running a 2J setup, right?
Yeah.
So like when I go out to the tracks, it just seems like there's like a overflow of people running LSs and supercharged LSs.
Yeah, it's like supercharged LS or procharged LS, or there's like some people that just run big V8s with nitrous. I believe it's just a really good engine setup for drifting. You don't have to drive super crazy on it like in the JC.
Ton of torque.
Yeah, you have everything you need. So it's almost like kind of like a cheater setup but only people that are going to say other people like me that have to like work really hard to keep the car in boost, or we add nitrous just to spool the turbo. But there's still a few people that have, 2 JZs. You got Red Dan, Dylan Hughes, Stookie, their JZ, him and Casey.
Right.
So there's still plenty of people using the JZ platform because it really is a great engine for what drifting needs. And honestly, I think the only thing that sucks is just making sure the boost is there. Just making sure there's no lag. So that's why we use nitrous. But once the car is going, it's just as
going,
fast,
right?
just as fast as a V8, you know. But it's just a V8 guys can be a little bit more lazy. Like we're in New Jersey, and you hear a V8 guy just completely get off throttle,
Right.
and then just like wait for a second, and then gets back on throttle. Where like if there's a second where I can't be on throttle, propelling myself forward, and I'm like clutching in, you hear me like kicking the gas pedal, keeping it in boost. So once I let off the clutch, the car is going. So that allows his work. I've even considered possibly in the future switching to a V8. I'm not sure yet, but for right now, I'd love the JZ. It sounds so good.
When you first started building the pro car, did you come to a spot where you were like, oh, I can go this route, I can go this route, and you chose the JZ, or you just had you just stumbled upon it and bought it?
For me, I always loved the JZ before I had one. I loved the sound of it. I love that it made crazy horsepower, and you didn't have to spend a crazy amount of money to make like 600-700 horsepower. This was back when the JZs were a little bit less expensive to buy and build. The first one that we put in, my S13, was completely stock other than just the long block was like completely stock other than like springs and retainers and valves in the head, because we just wanted to flow a little bit better, and we wanted it to handle like revving it really high and like smashing limiter. And then we just strap a turbo to it, made like 750 horsepower. Yeah, like
nice.
Right there, we're making like 700 plus horsepower, and that was like almost a stock long block. So that was really cool. And then I just got used to driving the JZs, so I was like gonna stick with what I know.
Yeah, of course.
But the only thing you see now is now that when we're competitive, you have to look for every angle of what's going to give you more of an advantage. So the LS, sometimes I'll see it, and like some of these tracks that we go to, I'm like, it would be cool to have like that instant torque, or being able to be a little bit lazy on the gas pedal. But for right now, like I was saying before, I love it. The JZ is super fast. Yeah.
Nice.
What are you driving besides your drift car? What else do you have in the garage?
2500 Ram.
That's it?
That's literally all I drive. I mean, I'm driving my mom's car around while I'm
That's great. We should saw his mom's car was. Maybe I won't blow it up on the podcast, but you
gotta leave him. Don't blow it up. We'll talk about that after when the camera's not rolling.
You check it out afterwards.
He's like, do you imagine you driving this? I was like, don't worry, it's not mine.
You know what's funny though, because I saw a person pull up and you said I'm here, so I go outside and I see a person pull up in a Chevy Malibu. I go,
just
spit it out. No.
It's not much.
I see a guy pull up in a Chevy Malibu, and I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting that. Wasn't Mike. And then Mike pulls in the parking lot, and I go, really wasn't. So I won't play it up. When you go outside and check it out, I'm telling you, won't be expecting what's out there.
Oh, I can't wait to see.
All my buddies, like we were at, we had the car brought to the track so we can drive back to Long Island, and then like we were in the pits at Pro Bro Down, and my buddies were like, I was like, dude, come on. I was like, it's not mine.
But no, I feel that.
My mom's just got good taste.
Yo, fantastic taste. I'll add to that. That's poof. But yeah, man. It's really sick that you're here, and we don't really get a lot of guests.
Yeah, that's what I saw. I was like, it's just you guys, which is not a problem. Like you guys do a great job, and the chemistry is there. But it's any opportunity to talk to, chat with like you guys or any special guests. I feel like that's always a good opportunity. So I was like, hey, I feel like it'd be cool to just do this. I'm gonna be there, so might as well try and do it.
Yeah,
so here we are.
No, we
always love seeing you.
Yeah,
I know.
Me and Mike have known each other for probably about 10 years now,
if not longer.
Yeah, if not longer.
But yeah, last time I saw you was literally at FD. I think.
Yeah, I grabbed you because I was there, and I was like, I gotta say what's up to Mike.
Exactly. But yeah, it's crazy how far, like, it feels so different now. I was like, just telling my girlfriend, because she's out here with me, I was like, oh, we used to do these like Monday night meets and like all this stuff, and it used to be so fun. I was at Sonic on
DPA.
Yeah.
Dude, do you remember Dave and Buster's meets?
Yes.
That's when I first met you. Was the Dave and Buster's meets?
Yeah. Dave and Buster's meets, and then we also had that meet. I don't know if you ever went to the one behind Applebee's.
Oh yeah, okay.
I thought that one was the best. It was like on Monday nights.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dude, this is the best. I was like, it makes me love Monday.
Nobody loves Monday.
I thought it was great. But
Monday nights, maybe.
You can't even do that anymore. I feel like the car is so different now. You can't get a takeover car people. Is it a thing out here?
It's yes and no. NYPD is actually pretty good with shutting that shit down.
Okay.
They don't really play around with that.
Gotcha.
And also, there's so much traffic when it comes down to it. It's not.
You
it's
know
not
what I see more often out here? I'm sorry.
No, go.
I was gonna say the thing I see out here more on Long Island now with car meets and whatever. It's like whenever I see people get together, it seems to be more kind of focused in terms of make. I'll see like a BMW meetup or something like that. Sometimes you'll see like the little Miata guys taking their drives or whatever it is. I don't see everyone really coming together as much as I used to.
That's when people act crazy.
Like I miss some of the. That's true. I do miss some of the like the Bald Hill meets and stuff like that. Like
Bald Hill,
those
wow.
are good times.
Kicking it.
Though, you can't go there. It's too hot.
It's too hot. That's right.
I'm dying.
It's like English Town. You're legit in the middle of a parking lot. Good luck.
Fun. Those are fun
Burnt
things.
out.
Yeah, I don't know. Those are really fun.
The
things.
Long Island car scene and New York car scene it's funny.
It was
It
good
really-
in the beginning. Like, I feel like I
100%.
got into it the
There's
best
still,
time.
don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of great car meets, and I like them because they're your invite only. You won't know it. Like,
okay.
dude, they'll throw like, all right, meets in 2 hours. Like, here's the info. Like, and it's like, oh, okay. Like, and gotta get up and
sick.
go.
Yeah.
You know, like, they do like Sevens Day in the city, like everything like that. It's cool. The New York car scene is strong, but again, you're not gonna see a lot of those in just at a random Monday night meet anymore.
Yeah, it would just get too out of hand.
Yeah,
I feel like there was no one. I feel like maybe it like fizzled out when it should have been stronger for the next generation coming in, so that we were all like, hey, like this is what you do at a car meet. This is what you don't do at a car meet.
I blame Burple Tunes. I really
Dude, I literally tell everyone that's the worst thing ever.
It's-
Like my Subaru used to like pop and bang or like throw a flame once in a while, but like the
Not
whole
like how it is
cell,
now.
like it literally sounds like a car
Dude, just-
crapping its pants.
Just
like,
the other day, I had a BMW 330. Must have had absolutely nothing done to it besides a res delete and just a Burple tune. And he just was coming down, and I'm just like, oh my god, dude, like it's disgusting.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. Like it doesn't enhance performance.
It does not one bit.
It's all just attention seeking. And I'm like, for me, it's like, sure, like some people build their cars to get some attention. You know, you want it to stand out, you want it to look cool. But if you're breaking someone's neck because your car's annoying,
On stock wheels with
Yeah,
no
why do you
suspension
want that?
whatsoever, you know, just a Burple and a hole in the exhaust. You know, it's. I can't.
I don't know.
It bothers
It's like one of those things. Like when like my Subaru was like practically straight pipe. There was just a muffler on it. It was so loud that some people didn't like how loud it was. But you still have people who are like, yeah, but it sounds so good. Like you're making the sound of the engine super loud so everyone can appreciate that noise that they all love. Like who loves just like fake gunshots like, like flying by? It's
Not out of a 330.
Oh, that's it.
Hey, there it is.
Yeah,
guys.
that is.
That's in Farmingdale.
I was gonna say that looks like Farmingdale.
You ever heard of Tarmac?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
right there.
Damien, yeah, good dudes over there. They like I brought my first car over there because I needed some intercooler piping welded, and Damien welded it up for me. And their shop, like they had this cool little small shop, and they just had like their buddies in there, and he was doing some side work and stuff, but he was like, yeah, like we'll help you build the car. And then it turned into like me renting a spot there. So like I was out of Farmingdale for a while with my coupe. But yeah, dude, it's still, I have a lot of great memories here. And like coming back, I'm like, oh man, like I wish
Driving
some of
by
the still
everything.
stuff, I
Yeah.
wish some of the stuff still went on like it did. But I guess that's just like growing up. I feel like that just
You know what it is? Just the next generation just didn't get it.
I feel like there's some people out here that I see try to do the right thing and host good events. Like, man, I always forget his name, but it's like the flirt kid.
Nick Miller.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So his brother CJ.
Yeah.
CJ would do a lot of fiberglass work for me when I'm crashing my drift.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
And then,
That's what's up.
so he's the man, and he's actually drifting now a lot too, and also with my
He's
buddy
got a
Calvin.
C5,
Yeah, he's got a
right?
C5,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ripping that
So-
C5 around.
They're like keeping drifting alive out here for sure, and there's plenty of other people doing it as well. But his brother, I met him through like getting all the fiberglass work done, and then I followed him. I see the events that he's doing. He like got big bold letters. He's like, no burnouts, no revving, no side shit.
Yep.
I was like,
I've been to a couple of his events, and it's legit. It's
Yeah, and
That's awesome.
They're
Yeah,
good
it's-
people. Nick and CJ are actually from my hometown, Hicksville.
Yeah.
And we grew up like blocks away from each other.
Oh heck yeah.
So I've known them for like my whole life, and we've done a lot of car stuff throughout the years, whatever. But yeah, they're great people. Nick's throwing really good events, and I know CG's out there still working on cars and drifting. So you know, all that stuff makes me feel like it's still alive and well.
You know what I love about CJ? He drives that Corvette just on the street going to the events.
Yeah.
Did you see his little rig that he did? Like he put.
Oh, does he have like a little tire trailer on the back of it?
Tire trailer that's on the back of the C5, and it's hilarious, dude. Awesome. I love it. To be honest,
I'm pretty sure he went in with my buddy Calvin, who had a shop. I think it's in Deer Park, and I think he has a shop. I think he has a spot in his shop where he's doing some work.
That's awesome.
So now he has his own spot. And because when I met him, he was working out of his garage.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was working out of his garage.
Bro, he would knock out work in 2 days. Like, I would give him a bumper in 20 pieces, and he'd be like, "How soon do you need it?" I'd be like, "However, you gotta do it." And he's like, all right, I don't know how fast I could do it, but I'll let you know. I was like, well, the event's like a week away, so we have a little bit of time. He would call me like the next day. He'd be like, "It's done.
That's done. Get it out of here."
He's like, "There's no paint on it," or like, he's like, "Still got to do some work, but it's a bumper."
It works.
That's all I need, dude.
That's great, man.
Yeah, it's cool. There's so many awesome, like, I would say the main thing I miss about being here on the East Coast and Long Island is how genuine people are.
Yeah.
People are really genuine. You make some really good friends here that will last you a lifetime. California, on the other hand, people have like their motives and they're, like, you know, it's very dense in industries. Yeah. And everybody kind of wants something. So you kind of have to weed out the people who are actually friendly with you because they like your company, or people who are friendly with you because they want something in return. So like out here, it's kind of just like, you'll know instantly if somebody is like cool, because like they'll be a dick to you and you're just like, oh yeah.
I like this. I always said that.
He's not pretending to be nice to me. He'd rather just like, curse me out.
If you heard how me and my friends talk, you would be like, these guys hate each other.
We're the same way.
They're my best friends.
We're all
you know? Like,
guys.
It's a good thing,
It's
though.
the same thing, man.
I, to be honest, I'm the same way. I'd rather you curse me out and then we'll become friends.
Right.
Yeah, at least I know you're being honest.
Dude, at least probably, I'd say at least 4 or 5 of my friends, I'll be like, I did not like you in the beginning, but now it's like, yeah, we're best friends, dude. I talk to them every day.
That's awesome.
It's great.
I always hear the one thing about California and how they always say that.
That fugazi.
No, there's the saying between California and New York where they say that California people are nice but not kind, and then New York people are not. They are nice but not kind, and then New York people are not nice but they are kind.
Oh, gotcha.
So
it depends on the day.
The main thing
It depends on the day for New Yorkers.
The story I bring up is like some post or something I saw where it was like here's the difference between California and like New York. It's like, let's say you get a flat tire. You're in California, someone's gonna come up to you and check if you're okay. Like, oh my God, are you okay? I'm so sorry that this happened to you. I can't help, but I hope you find. I hope you get the help you need, and you get back on the road and have a safe day.
Oh, T's and P's.
And then New York, you have a flat tire dude comes over. He's like, "What are you doing, you idiot? You do it the right way. You look like an idiot. What, you don't know how to change a tire? Your dad never taught you how to change a tire." And then he's doing the tire for you.
I feel I've definitely done that at least twice in my life. I pulled over once on the side of the LIE because I saw somebody. He was like, "Dude, I don't even know how to use the jack." I was like, "Bro," I was like, "That's a problem, man."
We're gonna teach you real quick.
Look, and then you just sit there, spin this one, it'll go up, right?
I would be like, I'm only doing this if you pay attention.
This is a lesson for you, pal.
Yeah.
Man.
Some of your dad now watching. You talk to people with a flashlight.
Not straight, at least.
Yeah, shining in your face. What, do you guys have anything new going on? Is there anything you guys are excited about this year? Or
I think the aero covers are probably the biggest thing we're excited about. That's what right there you got behind you.
So now, how does that hook onto the wheel?
Right there with that center cap.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
There's like a couple, like, so the Ford guys, the Mustang dudes, they started it up like last year where they put the covers on their back wheels. And I don't think it was a style choice. I think they're hiding some cool setup stuff from the competitors.
Oh, wow.
But
they made these like almost like turbofans of the wheel covers, and they've been using them ever since. And ever since then, I've been seeing a lot more of the wheel covers.
The wheel covers are getting bigger and bigger. It's gotten to the point where I even found somebody in the UK that custom makes them for any wheel, any type, whatever you want to do. Yeah,
That's cool.
I think it's a little pricey there. Once you see the price, you're like, maybe not. You know, I don't need those covers that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is the benefit to cool like the brakes, or is it?
Yeah, it's more cooling, heat dissipation, and kind of like clean air around rather than aero.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
for hours in particular.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that was like the main thing I was thinking about. Like when I saw it on the Mustangs, I was like, there's got to be a reason it's there, because everything they do is like top notch. They have a killer team. So whenever they do stuff, you kind of pay attention. You're like, oh, what is this helping them on the
What
the
is
field?
that doing for you? And how can I do
Talking
it?
to them, they're just like, oh, it's just because it looks cool. And then I'm like, I don't know. But
There's a part of me that would believe that.
me too.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, like even if they were like, oh, like we have like we don't like how the brakes look or something silly, and then we just want to do this, or it's more advertisement space. They're super big on that. It's like they're basically rolling billboards. But I was like looking, I was like, would that do anything? Like not let the air pass through the wheels so it slows down the car at angle, but also like there's some tracks that we drive, we really don't go that fast, so I don't think it's really gonna make that much of a difference. The only time you really see aero playing a role was a lot of the Japanese guys overseas. They'll have these big wings, but the end plates of the wing are huge, so they're like almost like these sails.
Yeah.
So when you throw the car sideways, the wind will actually slow down the transition of the car, so you don't like snap too fast to angle.
See,
So
we learn something every day.
sometimes there's little things with drifting, and like aero really doesn't play a role in drifting that much. But I mean, sometimes it does. So that's why every time I see stuff like that, I'm like paying attention. But it just looks sick too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think that looks awesome.
And the main reason why we did the smaller, cover as opposed to the ones that you see on those Ford cars that are kind of more
Basically the whole wheel.
right. Yeah. So the reason why we did it smaller is just because it gives you those windows to extract air a little bit easier. So
if they were doing it for style, you guys are doing it for the actual function.
there's a level of style.
There's a level of style
that
for
we're
it.
doing it for too. I mean, also the wheel that it goes with is not going to be our probably highest performance wheel.
Okay.
But it's kind of more aesthetic as a package. But we had to do some testing on it, so there is a level of functionality.
Very cool.
Yeah. But that's what we got going on. We're gonna be doing some new Forge line coming out pretty soon.
Sweet.
Which
Hyper Trail series too.
we have the truck wheels, which are probably somewhere around here. I don't know where. There's one down over here. But some truck wheels that we did, and then we're really just getting excited for this Forge stuff.
Heck yeah.
So that's kind of right on the horizon.
That's coming soon.
What's like the main takeaway from like forged versus like the other methods?
If you need the highest performance wheel, and you want the best performing wheel, best whatever, it's gonna be the Forge product. I mean, a fully forged wheel is gonna just be able to take more abuse for a longer period of time.
Gotcha.
But like for bang for your buck, for flow form wheels, like the ones that you're on, are typically the way most people want to go for bang for your buck. But if you're really that type of person that wants the absolute best product, or every pound counts, or whatever it is, you're really conscious of weight, the Forge is gonna be right for you.
Yeah, I got you. I mean, dude, don't get me wrong. The wheels, like the wheel right behind you is the wheel that we have on the car. It's the Heliogram, correct?
Yep.
So that wheel is strong as hell.
Yeah.
Like I hit the wall at 70 miles an hour. So that front wheel might not be like the best like show of like, I don't know, the face was completely fine. And we were completely dumbfounded by it because everything else around the car was just
products, that's why.
I know. All the other wheel brands we've used, it's like I slightly like rubbed a wheel on the same wall last year and the whole outer lip just exploded. And they're like, oh, we wanted it to do that. I was like, they're like, that's how we want it to break if it breaks. And I was like, I don't know why.
I don't understand that one bit, but
I don't know. But we drove into the wall, hit the front, and then the rear went in. So both wheels on the left side of the car went into the wall. The front one, the barrel was pretty messed up just because 70 miles an hour. There's not really anything
not
that's
much
going
you
to
can do
save
about that.
But the fact that the face was completely fine, and then the rear wheel hit the wall right after, and was only slightly bent, no cracks, didn't blow up.
Amazing products.
Awesome.
You guys know where to grab them.
Shameless plug.
We didn't pay for that.
There you go. Boom. So the front went in, and then the back chased it. You can't really see it that much, but you see the front comes in, bang, and then the back of the car hits.
What's going through your head at that time? I mean, are you feeling physical pain at that point, or are you just kind of just damn?
I mean, the adrenaline's so high. The second I knew I was going into the wall, that my main thing that I do is I just take my hands off the steering wheel, I close my eyes because I just don't want to watch myself going to the wall. So I just don't want to play that in my head every time I have to.
Every time you go do it.
But yeah, knew I was going to the wall, basically just braced. And then the only thing that like really like sucked was I hit my head on the roll cage, like with the helmet. And that kind of gave me like a good like bop. They said like I could have, there's no way to test for a concussion, but they said he'd probably have one or confirm a concussion. We did go to the hospital because I was feeling a little out of it after that. But yeah, it's there's really not much that can go through your head other than, we're about to hit the wall. So we went over the rumble strips and lifted the car up. And once the car went back down onto the track, there was no front grip again. So we basically, by unsettling the car and trying to get it reset on the track, it just pushed. And then I was trying to save it. So I stayed on throttle for a little bit, like, hey, like snap back to angle, drive out. And it was just the second I touched the gas, it was just like, no, just push faster. I was like, all right, we're just going to let off the wheel. Just ride it in. It just sucked because it's just so much work goes into it. And I thought the car was totaled too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Glad it wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, technically, like if we were a big team that had all the money in the world, like you probably opt to just build another car after a crash like that. But, man, the strut tower was literally on top of the engine. And we were like, but the boys literally that day while I was at the hospital, they pulled the strut tower back to like pretty much almost near where it was. And they were like, all right, well, they were like, we think it's savable. It's just all the aftermarket stuff that we like, when we cut out the front of the car and put all the structural tubing in there, all that needed to be replaced. But we got on the frame machine, got it pulled back, pretty much a stock location that just welded all the new stuff in. And it's perfect.
That's a normal.
The car drives like nothing ever happened. There's only one area where you can see it's like right behind the fender of the wheel well. It looks like straight up bacon in there, but everywhere else, you would never have thought the car went into the wall.
Wow.
Yeah. So the boys definitely killed it on that one.
Dude,
Shout
shout
out to the
shout out the
boys.
boys. Yeah,
Shout
that's
out
what
to
I'm
the
saying.
boys.
Shout out the boys. Man. So then, well, that was at Long Beach this year.
Yeah.
And and then you ended up not doing Atlanta,
Yeah.
right? So for this year, I know that you had a little bit of a rough start.
Yeah.
What about for like you yourself, Formula Drift, or maybe anything else? Like, what's like your current maybe 5-year plan or something like that?
For me, it's just to stick with FD, grow my program, and do better on the business side of things because it really does trickle down into the program. And being a privateer in the sport that's now getting more and more competitive, it's probably the hardest time. I was just talking to Dylan Hughes the other day, and he said it to me. He's like, it's literally the hardest time right now to get into professional drifting because everyone is so good. And the judging criteria, he's like, it comes down to inches. It's like, it's the tiniest little things that will make you go home in that weekend. And even some of the top drivers are facing that right now where they make a tiny mistake and they're going home. So it's one of the hardest times to be super competitive in drifting. But being a privateer, I'm focusing on just trying to optimize all the resources and gain new resources to be able to perform better. So my 5-year plan is just be able to support the program better and have more resources. So every time we go to the track, it's just better and better. So this season, it's just the way it started off was just really rough with having to basically rebuild the car. That's a huge blow to, finances and all that stuff that we need to run throughout the season. So just trying to get ready and all that stuff, having to miss Atlanta sucked. Missing a race is the worst feeling ever. And then picking it up where you left off and, after a big crash like that, just like having to try and get out of the mindset of like, hey, I could literally do that again right now. Like I could total this car again today. Yeah. So it's one of those things where I'm not thinking about it while I'm driving, but it's just like when you're getting prepped, when you're getting ready, it is a lot of weight on your shoulders, especially like running my own team. Like I'm just not like arrive and drive for someone else.
Right.
Everything you see is like managed by me. And then I have to make decisions, get the right people in the team. And then, there's a lot of stuff that the boys get to handle that it's been awesome. The teams have been killing it. But it is just a lot. There's a lot of weight on your shoulders.
It might be a silly question, but would you like to be an arrive and drive driver or?
I feel like, yeah, I would. I don't know if it's something that I would want to do forever unless it's a team that, like, you see how the Ford team does it and you see how Toyota does it. Like, Ryan Turek, Frederick Osbo, and Toyota, the setup that they have, that's something that, like, if that was an opportunity for me, I could probably do that for a long time because it's a team that you can trust. I mean, Ford, they have a really good team too that you could trust as well, but it's one of those things I wouldn't want to get into it unless it was that type of setup where you have like the huge factory backing from like either Toyota or Ford, and then just a huge list of people that are just dedicated to their roles in the job, and you really don't have to worry about anything other than performance. So I would love to be in the position where all I have to do every day is wake up, focus on how am I going to perform better at the next race, and how am I going to start getting those trophies and race for a championship. And probably do still some marketing, because that's a huge part of, you know, any driver, whether you're on a team or not, you're waking up and you got to think about how to do some marketing that day and all that stuff, unless your managers are like, hey, like you have to go shoot this. And then you really don't have to do anything. You just wake up, focus on driving. And then if someone says, hey, you got to stand in front of a camera today, you go stand in front of a camera. But if it was at a caliber of those teams, I would definitely be interested in doing it. But the thing that I love about what I have right now is I can make it whatever I want.
Yeah, of course.
It's my name. You know, it's power racing. We get to do whatever we want. We get to make the whole operation run the way that we want. So having that freedom is really awesome.
It sounds like it.
But maybe
one day.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
Less responsibilities, get to focus more on driving. I think that'd be really awesome. But once we get more resources, it'll make it easier to delegate everything that goes on in the program, so I can focus a little bit more on driving. So that's one of the goals right now in the whole 5-year plan. Cool. If a team wants to hit me up, let me know.
Yeah. When you said earlier, when you said you think that it's one of the hardest times right now to get into drifting, is that because of when you said people are so good?
I was going to say professional drifting is probably the hardest time. Drifting in general, it's always easy to get.
It's always easy.
Okay.
Just a little bit of money, like it does get a little bit more expensive here and there, but once you get into drifting,
When you said people are so good, how much part of that do you think sim racing takes part into that?
Sim driving has become a really big thing, and I have to tell you guys, it has benefited me this past weekend. So we did get the results that we wanted at Englishtown, but before we went there, I did a lot of driving on the simulator. My buddy Yogi at Bear Cove Studios, he has his own sim, and he let me go drive it. He basically tossed me the key to his studio, and he was like, hey, like, if you want, go get as many laps as you can and just get practice. So loaded up Englishtown with an AI driver in front of us. So it's someone doing a perfect lap in front of me every single time, did a couple hundred laps. And then when we got to Englishtown, first lap of the day is usually the hardest one, because you're just thinking about everything. You got to focus on how you're going to do your lap and how you're going to perform. And it felt like I already did a practice. So it was really smooth transition going from the sim to actual driving. And my chases were more aggressive and more consistent throughout the whole weekend. So there's so many benefits to be able to just like not have to set up a trailer, set up the car, all this stuff, and drive out somewhere to go drive. You have a simulator in your office, so you just hang out and you drive on it for hours on end. So I think it's really beneficial, and a lot of drivers are using it.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like the way that I talked to some of these drivers where they started on sims before they even got into a car.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
There's definitely a couple of people that I met like that.
Started on controllers too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? It blows.
Well, that's what we all did. We were playing like Forza on Xbox and stuff.
To be honest, I played Forza last night. You know, I'm
There you go.
I'm not gonna say no to that.
Awesome. It's super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a good way to get the practice that you need. Obviously, for me, the best opportunity for practice would be getting in like a practice car or having a secondary car or even driving the competition car as much as possible. The only thing is it's super expensive because tire consumption, fuel consumption, travel costs, all that stuff plays a role in just taking the car out. You can't just go take it out. So the sim, that's why it's awesome. You just
Sim kills you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It don't need gas.
Don't need gas. You
It's electric.
just need a PC.
Yeah.
I know for the 5-year thing, you were saying that obviously 5 years and we focus on the drifting stuff. I just always wonder for a lot of the drifters, do you ever have your eyes on any other motorsports you want to get into?
Yeah, I do. I mean, the only other thing I would go any which way. I love racing. I think it's really fun. I've done some grip driving, and I would totally be interested in doing that. But something that I did I was in Vegas, and there's this place, Speed Vegas, right off the highway, and you could rent one of these smaller off-road trucks. And it's almost like a short course. No, it was like a real race truck.
Really?
They have a short course track where you get to drive it and take it off jumps. And I did that. I did like 20 laps in the thing, and I told the instructor that's like in the passenger seat, I was like, this is the funnest thing I've done like since drifting. Like, this is the only thing I can compare.
Is this it?
So no, that's just like some side by sides, but they were driving. Yeah, so one of those. So that's what I drove on their short course track, and it was a blast. So ever since then, I'm pretty sure one of them was like 75 to 100 feet.
That's awesome.
What the hell?
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
it wasn't a high horsepower truck, so you weren't intimidated by driving it. You just had to listen to the instructor telling you when to brake, when to turn. So like after doing like 5 laps, you get a really good grip for it, and you're just flying this thing off jumps. And I was like, dude, this is so much fun. Yeah. So instantly after
This year,
I did that, oh yeah,
This year,
show
we'll stay for an extra day. We'll
You
go.
have to. That's when I did it, when I was at SEMA.
I mean, I would love to do this. This is crazy.
I think I'm very intrigued.
So
I'll probably get us all really injured.
I mean, I'm not going in your car.
You should have fun.
Like, you have fun in your car. I'll stay in my
We
car.
had to GoPro you up, and you had to be screaming the whole time.
I wouldn't be screaming. I'd be sitting there yelling at you.
Yeah, whatever. That's fine.
That's the same. That's screaming like scared of my life. Like, you're an idiot. Why didn't you do that?
But ever since I did that, I was like, I would love to get into off-road racing, but like short course racing where you're racing against other trucks and taking them off jumps. Like it's like a short course layout, and then they have jumps in it, and I would love to do that.
I could totally see you doing that too.
100%.
I could.
And we drive for Nexen Tire, and they sponsor a lot of off-road guys. And every time I hang out with Dave, I'm like, hey, so what do I gotta do to get in off-road trucks? I was like, at least just put me in one. Let me try it.
So that's the 5-year plan, right after he's going off-road races.
So keep
Game over.
professional drifting, possibly do some off-road driving.
Nice.
Because off-road's getting bigger and bigger every year.
It's huge.
Off-roader. I feel like off-road has been huge regardless.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. It's only worth it. It's definitely a smart move to get involved. But for me, I always said I'll be doing drifting until I can't drive a car anymore.
Wow.
So that's the game plan.
It's gonna be a while for that.
Just keep it going. Yeah. Still young, so I got a while to go.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, I think.
Yeah, right.
I feel like we've been rambling now for
Wait, hold
almost
on.
an hour.
Before I go, this is something I like to talk about when I'm on the East Coast for podcasts. Can we talk about pizza really quick?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay, yeah,
All
what
right,
we
just
got?
really quick.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So, to be honest, I was even going to ask you, moving to California, what do you miss about fucking New York? the most?
Pizza.
I
And
imagine
bagels.
so.
There's
And that's
no
why I
delis.
won't leave.
There's no delis. Like there's maybe a deli, but they're like
Got Jersey Mike's.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah,
I
or
can't.
like
I can't
Ike's.
live like that.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, Ike's is actually it's not that bad. It's like a mainstream sandwich.
Yeah,
I
no.
want like an Italian hero.
Yeah.
You want the
with-
guy who's been doing it
Yeah.
for 72 years?
Yeah, and also when you say hero, people are like, "What's a hero?"
Oh,
dude,
trust me.
that's crazy.
A hoagie. What do
Yeah,
they call
a
hoagies out there?
Grinder.
Dude, that's like
Stop
some
that.
North New York
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Some people say.
You
like-
got that hoagie, but
Yeah, but dude, pizza the most. Like first thing I did when we got here, I went to like Little Vincent's, and some people,
Huntington.
some people I talked to out here, they're like, "That's not even the best pizza." It's like it doesn't
It's
matter.
what-
I'm just
to
in
be honest,
New York.
you gotta,
and
it
it's
could
good
be any
pizza.
pizzeria for you. It's
It's
gonna
good.
be good pizza.
Yeah.
Did you get a cold cheese slice?
Yeah,
Of course, that's
there
the
you
only
go.
way to do it when
Yeah,
you go to Little Vincent's.
yeah, you have to. But you guys ever have like Matt's Pizza? Oh, dude, this place I grew up. It was like
Where is it?
I grew up in Port Jeff. It was in Coram. This place, Matt's Pizza, they had like, it was like the same like regular pizza you'd always get, but they had like some crumb under the crust and the bread that was like a little crunchy. Oh my God. My mouth is watering.
We're gonna do that for lunch today.
Yeah, there you go.
Lunch.
He always,
Nice.
he probably
It is Tuesday, so we're probably gonna go get pizza
Yeah,
today.
But some people on the West Coast, they don't understand it. They're like, I got brought to a place that was like New York style pizza. I was like, all right.
That's fugazi.
So
Yeah.
like, you better be New York style pizza. I go in there, no specialty slices.
Oh.
No pies ready to go out on the table.
I can't just grab one slice.
It took 20 minutes to get 2 slices.
That's
I was like,
ridiculous.
bro, I was like, this is.
know
I was
what?
like, you
See,
should be
I can't leave New York.
ashamed
I
to have
can't.
New
I
York
won't
in
leave.
your
I can't
name.
leave New York.
man.
I can't leave New York for that reason.
Just,
Just for that reason alone, the pizza, the bagel, I can't do
You
it.
gotta bring a dozen bagels back to California.
yeah,
pretty
pizza. Oh yeah, that's
pizza.
core.
I love the photo that we got there. That's great.
Oh man.
I love that you guys have just like the like you got your booth boy just like fucking tightening it up.
Oh,
really quick.
Max is over there
Max
working.
is
He's
Dude,
working.
Max is the man.
Yeah.
He's quick with it.
He's very quick with it.
Oh man. Well, I would miss pizza too if I left, honestly.
Yeah,
But
no,
well, I can't even eat it anymore. No one tells you when you get older you become lactose intolerant.
No, that's cat. You can't just keep eating it.
I mean, you can still eat it. You just got to deal with the
I
consequences
know.
afterwards.
Yo,
you
the
know?
consequences suck.
Hey, listen, it's
They
a
make-
serious
they make
thing.
pills for that. You're fine.
I know. Everyone keeps
There's
talking
medicine
about
for
it.
that. Don't
You're
worry
never
about it. We're
gonna
good.
eat pizza. There's
No,
no
there's
such thing.
no other way.
There's no such thing as life.
So what's your go-to specialty slice then?
For me? Oh man, dude. Coliseum. You ever been to Coliseum?
No,
Pork chop?
I'm not, dude. I'm almost Queens. I'm 37
I don't
off
go
the
to
other
Port-
way.
you travel Long
I
Island a
travel
little bit.
everywhere, but I never go
Oh,
down all the way to
man.
Port Jeff.
Now you got old pictures of me before I even tattooed.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I met Mikey boy.
Yeah, literally, probably
Riding around
years
his
before
bike.
that.
Yeah, riding around his bike at Dave and Buster's. Going, who the hell is this guy?
Man, specialty slice. I would probably say I really like a buffalo chicken, but I'm like
See, this is
I'm like
amazing.
really easy. I'm like really easy with pizza. Like a regular cheese slice. I'm stoked on it.
I love that you just called it a regular cheese slice because I have this conversation with numerous lots of people that aren't from New York.
People think
And
a
they're like-
regular slice is pepperoni.
No, that's absurd. A regular slice is a cheese slice. There's nothing else to it. And I'm sorry for getting upset
Did
over
I just
here.
hear him laughing?
Yeah, he's laughing over it because me and Max actually had this conversation because he calls it a cheese slice, and I go, no, bro, it's a regular
It's
slice.
a regular slice.
It's a
Max
regular
isn't
slice,
from
but
Long
Max
Island.
isn't from New York or Long Island, so he doesn't get it.
So I literally
So I'm like,
go
no,
on-
bro, it's a regular slice. He
Oh,
goes, no,
this-
it's a
regular.
cheese
This
slice.
is the most
It's a
heated
regular.
the truth is on this whole podcast.
To be honest, at this podcast,
Dude, I forgot where I was. I was either like more south or like more in California. I was like, yeah, let me just get like 2 regular slices. So like
They look at you
like
like you're
pepperoni. I was like,
pepperoni.
what?
Excuse me?
I was like, what do you mean? They're like, yeah, pepperoni's regular. I was like, no.
No, not around here, partner.
That's like you adding something. What is a pizza? When you think of a pizza, bread and cheese and some sauce. Okay,
What's
so
gravy
like,
on
what is regular about a pepperoni pizza?
That's-
Unreal, but yeah, that's always a funny conversation.
I love that you called it a regular slice. Of course you called it a regular slice. I don't even know why I would even think otherwise.
I will say though, that, like some of the thing that's also like the Italian food out here is so good. That most of the pizza places are like restaurants too.
Yep.
You get like a calzone. Oh my god.
The little
Unreal.
penny alla vodka on a slice.
Whoa. Never had that.
What?
Never had that. Penny alla vodka on a
Penny
slice?
alla vodka on a slice, or even like a big ziti slice?
Yeah, you guys do one of those. They're
Come
good.
on.
They're good.
Never.
And he's from New York, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we're gonna cut this podcast after that comment because we gotta go get Mike
gotta
a
go
penny
to
alla
lunch.
vodka slice.
Yeah.
That's wild.
You guys have the tacos over in California. That's what
I
you
will
guys
say
have.
Mexican food's really good out there. Asian food's really good out there. I mean, it's like everything is still pretty good. They just don't have like the New York
The good
touch,
stuff.
like the Italian,
The good
like,
stuff.
Yeah,
It's the good stuff. They got good stuff, but not the good stuff. You know what I mean? So it's
Where's the gabagool?
where's the gabagool?
But yeah, it's still cool out there. It's plenty of tasty food enough, but it just makes it that much better when I come back here.
Of course.
Yeah, get some bagels.
Something to look forward to.
Bagels, some bagels and schmear.
Yeah.
Two
I see that all the time, like Facebook, like videos of people from New York. I was like, I kind of miss hearing that accent.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
Where's that
Gabagool?
Oh, man.
Oh,
That was funny.
now you see everybody from outside New York to be like, these guys are ridiculous.
Yeah, they're gonna be
Everybody
like,
watching this from
they're
outside
probably
New
gonna
York.
go
It's
off
like,
never go to New
you
York.
come here, you experience it for yourself before you talk. That's what.
That's it.
You gotta experience it first.
Oh man, loving it.
Awesome.
All right, cool.
Dude, Mike, thank you for coming today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Love
boys.
seeing you. It's always good to
I'm
see you.
pumped. I can't wait to come back so we can do this again next year.
Well, next year, right after
Yeah.
Formula Drift, we'll
There
do it
you go.
again.
Hell
Let's
yeah.
do it.
Boom.
Set
We'll
your
all be
calendars,
here.
ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back.
That's what I love to hear. Powers.
Sweet.
All right, cool, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.
Later, bros.
Thank